The city park was quiet in a way that only future cities could manage. Tall silver buildings surrounded the green space. Blocking most of the noise, artificial trees glowed softly as evening lights warmed the walking paths. People passed through the park without stopping, eyes locked on screens or distant thoughts. On a lonely wooden bench sat a human man named Elias. He looked older than his age, not because of time, but because of memory. His shoulders were heavy, his hands rough, and his eyes carried wars no one asked about anymore. Elias had once been important. He had worn a uniform, followed orders, and protected people who would never know his name. Now he was just another forgotten man in a clean and advanced world, a world that no longer needed soldiers, only systems. He stared at the ground, listening to the wind move through metal leaves. His chest tightened as a familiar ache returned. Tears slid down his face without sound. He did not wipe them away. There was no one left to pretend for. Humans walked past him and did not see him. Some glanced at his worn jacket and turned away. Others simply did not care. Loneliness wrapped around him like a second skin. Then something small climbed onto the bench beside him. Elias did not notice at first. The weight was light, almost gentle. A soft movement disturbed the silence. A quiet voice spoke close to him. "Don't cry, sir." Elias stiffened. He turned his head slowly, expecting annoyance or pity. Instead, he saw a child. She was small, much smaller than a human child. Her skin shimmered faintly with a pale blue glow. Her eyes were large and dark, filled with curiosity rather than fear. She wore a simple cloak that hid most of her body, but not her otherworldly presence. Elias knew immediately that she was not human. Aliens were real now. Everyone knew that, but they stayed distant, protected, watched. They did not sit beside broken men on park benches. The little alien girl looked at him carefully. She tilted her head the way curious children do. Her voice dropped to a whisper, as if sharing a secret. "You can borrow my mom," she said softly. Elias blinked, unsure if grief had finally taken his mind. "Borrow your mom," he repeated quietly. The girl nodded seriously. "She fixes sad things," she explained. "When I am scared, she makes the heavy feeling go away." For the first time in years, Elias felt something crack inside him. Not pain, but surprise. He let out a short breath that almost became a laugh. "I do not think your mom would want to fix me," he said. "I am a little too broken." The girl frowned, clearly unhappy with his answer. "Broken things are not bad," she replied. "They just need more care." Elias looked at her small hands resting on the bench. They trembled slightly. Only then did he realize she was afraid too. "Why are you here alone?" he asked gently. She looked around the park, then back at him. "I am not supposed to be," she admitted. "But you look like you needed someone." Before Elias could respond, a low hum filled the air above the park. He felt it more than heard it. The girl's eyes widened. That sound was wrong. Elias recognized it from his past. Scanning technology, searching, hunting. Lights moved slowly across the trees and ground, invisible to most humans. The girl slid closer to Elias, her voice shaking. "They are looking for me," she whispered. "If they see me with you, they will think you are dangerous." Elias straightened slightly, old instincts awakening. He placed himself between the girl and the sky without thinking. For the first time in years, his loneliness stepped aside for purpose. As the scanning lights grew closer, Elias realized something terrifying and beautiful. This small alien child trusted him. In a universe that feared humans, she had chosen one who had nothing left, and that choice was about to change everything. The little alien girl stayed close to the human man. The park felt larger now, too open to quiet. Elias kept his body between her and the sky. He did not know why, he only knew it felt right. The scanning hum grew louder, soft waves of light moved through the air above the trees. Most humans could not see it. Elias Kudwar had trained his eyes. The girl held the edge of his jacket, her fingers were cold. Her voice shook. They will take me away. They will erase you. To erase, that word carried weight. Elias had heard it before, not from aliens, from humans. Who are they? He asked calmly. Her eyes followed the moving light. The watchers they protect, my people. They do not trust yours. Elias felt no anger. Only tired, understanding humans feared what they did not know. Aliens were no different. What is your name? He asked. She hesitated, then answered Luma. It sounded like light, like warmth. My name is Elias, he said. Luma looked at him carefully, as if placing the name into memory. You are not loud, she said. Most humans are loud inside. That surprised him. How do you know? He asked. I can feel it, she replied. Fear sounds sharp. Yours sounds tired. The scanning light paused above the bench. Luma gasped. Her skin shimmered brighter. Elias felt his heart's slow old instincts returned. He had faced worse than machines in the sky. Do not move, he whispered. Luma nodded trust. Without question, the light past the hum softened. Then, moved on. Luma let out a small breath. She leaned against him, exhausted. Why were you crying? She asked after a moment. The question was simple, too simple. Elias stared ahead at the glowing trees, at people walking without seeing. I lost my family, he said. I lost my purpose. The world moved on. Luma listened. She did not interrupt. She did not pretend to understand. On my world, she said softly. We do not leave our broken alone. Elias smiled faintly. On my world. We forget how not to. Luma shifted on the bench. Her legs did not reach the ground. I was not supposed to come here. She admitted. My people hide. They watch humans from far away. Then why come? Elias asked. Luma looked at him, her eyes steady. Because humans cry, and no one answers. Something inside Elias tightened. A wound he thought had healed. My mom says, she continued, that when someone cries alone, it means they are brave. Not weak. Brave. No one had used that word for him in years. Before he could reply, a sharp tone echoed in the air. Different from before. Closer. Luma froze. That is them, she whispered. They found me. Figures appeared at the edge of the park, tall shapes wrapped in dark light. Their movements were smooth, precise. Aliens, not like Luma, not gentle. Elias stood up slowly. He placed himself in front of her again. Go, Luma said urgently. I will be punished. You will be destroyed. Elias shook his head. I have been destroyed before, he replied. I am still here. The figures stopped. Their eyes glowed cold. Human. One of them spoke. Step aside. Elias did not move. She is a child, he said. She is not a threat. Silence followed, heavy. Judging. Luma clutched his jacket tighter. Do not be afraid, Elias said quietly to her, to himself, in that moment, under alien skies. On a forgotten bench, a lonely human chose to stand, and a watching universe took notice. The night air around the park felt heavier. Not with danger alone, but with watching eyes. Elias stood still, his body calm, his heart steady, like it had been trained to be long ago. Luma pressed herself behind him, small, warm, trusting. The tall alien figures did not move closer. They simply watched, as if measuring something unseen. Luma spoke softly, her voice barely more than breath. They do not understand you. They think humans break everything they touch, Elias answered, without turning. Some of us do. Some of us try not to. Luma held his jacket tighter. My mom says every species has two stories, the one they show and the one they hide. Elias felt that truth settle deep. Where is your mom now? He asked. Luma looked toward the stars, her eyes glowing faintly. She is close, always close, even when I cannot see her. One of the alien figures stepped forward. Its presence made the air vibrate. Child. Luma return. Now. Luma shook her head. A brave small motion. No, she said. Not yet. The figure paused. Confused, Elias felt at the hesitation, the crack in certainty. Why not? The figure asked. Luma stepped out from behind Elias, just enough to be seen. Because he is hurting, she said. And you told me we do not leave hurt things alone. Silence followed, not empty, but full. Elias looked down at her. Surprised you told them that? He asked. She nodded. They do not like when I remember their own rules. Another figure shifted. Whispers passed between them, not in sound, but in light. Elias felt a strange warmth. Hope. A dangerous thing. Luma turned to him. her eyes bright. "This is why I said you can borrow my mom," she said. "She listens even when others do not borrow." The word echoed in his mind. "What if she does not want to listen to me?" he asked. Luma smiled a small, confident smile. "She will, because you stood up. That matters." The park lights flickered. Then dimmed, a new presence arrived, calm, strong like gravity itself. The air softened. A tall figure appeared beside the bench, not armored, not threatening. Her form shimmered with quiet power, her eyes, kind, ancient, focused. Loom gasped, then ran forward. "Mom." The alien woman knelt, opening her arms. Luma rushed into them. The woman looked at Elias, not with judgment, but with interest. "You protected my child," she said. Elias nodded once she needed it. The woman studied him. Not his clothes, not his age, his weight, his silence. "You are not what they fear," she said. "Neither are you," he replied. Luma looked up at her mother. "He cries alone," she said. "That means he is brave." The woman closed her eyes briefly. "Yes," she said. "It does." She stood, turning fully toward Elias. "Tell me, human, why does your kind carry so much pain?" Elias took a breath, a deep, honest one. "Because we remember," he said, "and because we still care." The woman listened, truly listened around them. The watching figures remained still. For the first time, they were not in control. Luma smiled. "Certain see," she said, "borrowing works." Above the park, the stars seemed closer, and somewhere far beyond them, a greater story began to shift. The alien guards remained silent. Their glowing forms stood like statues at the edge of the park, waiting, watching. Elias felt the familiar tension of being measured not by weapons but by judgment. The alien woman stood beside her daughter, calm, unmoving yet powerful enough to bend the moment around her. Luma stayed close to Elias. As if distance itself had become dangerous, the guards spoke again. Their voices layered with authority. "Human presence is a variable. Variables create risk." Elias stepped forward, not aggressively, not in fear. "Risk is what keeps things alive," he said. The guards reacted. Lights, shifting, calculations, changing. The alien woman raised a hand. The guards froze. "Let him speak," she said. Elias felt something he had not felt in years. Permission. He looked at the guards, then at the watching humans who still did not see. He spoke for both. "Humans fall." He said, "We fail, we make terrible mistakes." Luma listened carefully, her small hand gripping his sleeve. "But when something small is afraid," he continued, "we stand a guard." Shifted, its tone sharpened. "Your history is filled with destruction." Elias nodded. "So is our love," he replied. "You just do not record that part." The park grew still. Even the artificial leaves stopped moving. Elias closed his eyes briefly. Memories rushed in, not of victory but of loss. "I have seen humans run," he said, "and I have seen them stay. I stayed." The alien woman studied him, her gaze deep, unblinking. "Why?" she asked. "Because leaving would have been easier," he answered. Luma smiled at that, as if she understood something important. One of the guards projected an image. "Cities burning, battles, chaos. This is humanity," it declared. Elias looked at the image. Then at Luma. "No," he said, "this is what happens when we forget each other." He turned back to the guards. "You see our worst moments because they are loud. You miss the quiet ones." The alien woman tilted her head. "Show us," she said. Elias hesitated, then removed his jacket, revealing old scars, faded marks of survival. "These are from standing in front of others," he said, "not behind them." Luma stepped forward, standing beside him. "He did it for me," she said. The guards fell silent again, their certainty eroding. A pulse of light spread through the park, signals traveling far beyond Earth. The alien woman placed a hand over her chest. "Human," she said. "Your kind is known for violence, but this is courage." Elias did not smile, he did not bow. He simply stood. Luma leaned against him. Safe. One guard spoke quietly, almost uncertain. "If humans protect what is not theirs, what will they protect when it is?" Elias answered, without pause. Everything. The night air shifted. Decision moving closer above them. Stars watched, and for the first time, humanity was not being judged by its power. But by who it chose to stand for the park no longer felt empty. It felt full of watching, full of waiting. The alien mother stood between the guards, and the human her presence changed the space around her. Not with force, but with calm, Luma stayed close to Elias, her small body steady, her fear quiet. The guards waited for instruction. They did not move, they did not speak. The alien mother looked at Elias again, this time longer, deeper. "You stood when you did not need to," she said. "That is rare," Elias answered slowly. "I needed to," he said. "Someone always does." She nodded, understanding forming on many worlds. She said strength is measured by control, by dominance, by survival. She looked at Luma, but children measure strength differently. Luma lifted her head. He did not run, she said. He did not shout. He stayed. The guards shifted, their lights dimming slightly. The alien mother turned to them. "Record this moment," she ordered. They obeyed. She faced Elias once more. "Tell me, Huma, what did you lose?" Elias did not answer at first. He breathed. He remembered. "I lost my wife," he said. "I lost my child. I lost the version of myself that believed the world was fair." The words hung heavy. Even without sound, the alien mother lowered herself so her eyes were level with his. "And yet," she said, "you still protected a stranger." Elias looked at Luma. "She was not a stranger," he said. "She was afraid." Silence followed, not cold, but thoughtful. The alien mother placed a hand on Luma's shoulder. "Why did you choose him?" she asked. Luma answered without hesitation, "Because he looked empty. And empty things have space." That answer traveled through the guards, through the sky, through unseen channels. The alien mother closed her eyes briefly. "Our council believes humans are unstable," she said. "Too emotional, too destructive." Elias nodded. "They are not wrong." She opened her eyes, "but they are incomplete." She stood, facing the guards. "This human will be evaluated," she said, "not as a threat, but as a signal." The guards reacted, lights flashing. "Objection noted," one said. "Overruled," she replied. She turned back to Elias. "You will speak before our council," she said, "not to defend humanity, but to show it." Elias felt the weight of that request. "Why me?" he asked. "Because you have nothing to gain," she answered. Luma smiled, proud. "You listened to me," she said. "Now they will listen to you." The guards stepped back, creating space, not taking it. The city park returned to quiet, but it was a new, quiet, charged, alive. Elias looked at the bench, at the place where he had been invisible. "I was ready to disappear today," he said. The alien mother placed a gentle hand on his arm. "Then it is fortunate," she said, "that my daughter saw you." Luma hugged Elias, tight, fearless. "You are not empty anymore," she said. Above them, signals raced toward distant stars. A decision had not yet been made. But something more important had. For the first time, a human was not being studied for what he could destroy, but for what he chose to protect, and the universe was paying attention. The chamber was vast, not built for comfort, built for truth. Light flowed across smooth surfaces, shifting with thought and emotion. The alien council watched in silence. Elias stood alone at the center. No weapons, no armor, only memory. Luma and her mother observed from the edge, close enough to see, far enough to let the moment belong to him. The council spoke as one presence. "Human, you stand here as an example, not as a representative." Elias nodded. "That is fair." Images filled the air. Wars, cities falling, stars burning. "This is your history," the council said. Elias did not look away. "Yes," he replied, and this to the images shifted. A human lifting rubble, hands pulling strangers from fire, a soldier shielding a child. The council paused. "Why do you fight it?" asked. Elias answered, "Without pride, because something needs protecting. You destroy your own world," the council said. Elias nodded again. "And then we rebuild it." Emotion rippled through the chamber. Confusion, curiosity. "You are inconsistent," the council declared. Elias allowed himself a small smile. "So is life." Luma leaned forward, eyes shining. "He told the truth," she whispered. The council turned its focus inward. "Processing fear defines your species," it said. Elias shook his head. "Fear reveals us," he replied. The council projected a final image, a lonely man on a park bench. "Why did you stand it?" asked Elias, closed his eyes. Because I was tired of sitting. Silence followed, long, heavy. Then a new statement emerged. Humanity has been judged by its loudest moments. The lights softened. We did not listen for the quiet ones. Luma stepped forward, unable to hold back. He listened to me, she said, when no one else did. The council acknowledged her innocence. Has waited, responded. The alien mother spoke next. This human has no rank, no power, no promise. She looked at Elias, yet he stood. The council considered. If your species is spared, it said. What will you do? Elias answered simply, keep standing. Another pause. The decision began to form. Humanity will not be erased. The council declared, nor will it be ruled. Guidance will be offered. Observation will remain. Luma gasped, joy overflowing. Elias felt his chest tighten. Not with relief, with responsibility, the council continued. But understand this, human, your species will be watched. Elias met their gaze. We are used to that. A final message echoed through the chamber. Humanity fights monsters, but also becomes shields. The judgment was complete. As the chamber dimmed, Luma ran to Elias, wrapping her arms around him. You did it, she said. Elias knelt. We did it above them, across worlds. A quiet truth settled. Humanity was not perfect. It never had been. But it was something far rarer. It cared. And the universe had noticed. The sky above Earth looked the same, but everything beneath it had changed. News spread quietly at first, not through alarms, not through fear, but through calm announcements and shared screens. Humans were not alone, and they were not judged unworthy. Elias stood once again in the city park, on the same ground, near the same bench. But he was no longer invisible. People walked slower. Now some stopped, some looked up. Some felt something they could not name. Luma sat beside him. Her feet still did not touch the ground, but her smile was brighter than the city lights. You stood when it mattered, she said. Now others will stand. To Elias watched families pass, children laughing. Parents tired but present. I never wanted to be important, he said. Luma leaned against him. That is why you are above them. Alien vessels hovered quietly, not as threats, not as rulers, but as witnesses. The alien mother approached, her presence calm. As ever, the council decision has been accepted, she said. Humanity will walk its own path, but not alone. Elias nodded. We never needed saving, he replied. Just understanding, she smiled. That is rare. Luma reached for her mother's hand, then looked back at Elias. You do not need to borrow her anymore, she said. Elias felt warmth rise in his chest. Not loss, not sadness, but something, new hope. What happens now? He asked. The alien mother looked across the city. Now we learn from each other, she said slowly. The park filled with soft light. Not artificial, not alien, but shared. People noticed Luma. Instead of fear, there was curiosity. A child waved. Luma waved back. That simple moment traveled farther than any signal. Elias realized something. Then humanity had always been watched. By itself, the alien mother turned to him. You were ready to disappear, she said. But you stayed. Elias looked at the bench, at the place where it had begun. Someone had to, he said. Luma hugged him again, long, tight. You are not lonely anymore, she said. He believed her. As night deepened, stars felt closer, not because of distance, but because of connection. Somewhere across the world, other humans would stand, not because they were told, but because they remembered how Elias sat quietly, no longer waiting, no longer forgotten. Humanity had not been chosen because it was strong. It had been seen because it chose to care. And that choice, that simple human act, echoed across the universe.